ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ದೇಶದ ಜನ ಭಯ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಭಯ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯಿಂದ ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಬಾಳನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ಕಲ್ಪಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಭಕ್ತಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಭಯ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯಿಂದ ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಬಾಳನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ಕಲ್ಪಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ 12 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ದೇಶದ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ತಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಏನು ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕರು ಬಳಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಇವತ್ತೇನು ಫಲಾನುಭವಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕರೆದು ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಜನರಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸುವಂಥ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ದೇಶದ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಸಚಿವರಾದಂಥ ನಿರ್ಮಲಾ ಸೀತಾರಾಮ್ರವರು, ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ನಿರ್ಮಲಾ ಸೀತಾರಾಮ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಗ್ರಾಮಾಂತರ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆ ದೇವನಹಳ್ಳಿ ಮಂಡಲದಿಂದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ನೆಚ್ಚಿನ ನಾಯಕರು, ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನರು ಆದಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಂತ BY ವಿಜೇಂದ್ರಣ್ಣವರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷ ದೇವನಹಳ್ಳಿ ಮಂಡಲದಿಂದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕಬಳ್ಳಾಪುರ ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಸದಸ್ಯರಾದಂಥ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಸದಸ್ಯರಾದಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ಅವರು ಈ ಭಾಗದ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂಥವರು ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಬಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಗ್ರಾಮಾಂತರ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆ ದೇವನಹಳ್ಳಿ ಮಂಡಲದಿಂದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷದ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿ ಅಂತ ತಮ್ಮೇಶ್ ಗೌಡರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ದೇವನಹಳ್ಳಿ ವಿಧಾನಸಭಾ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಮಾಜಿ ಶಾಸಕರಾದಂಥ ಚಂದ್ರಣ್ಣವರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಮಂಡಲದ ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷನ ಸದೃಢವಾಗಿ ಕಟ್ಟಲೇಬೇಕು, ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ತರಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಪಣ ತೊಟ್ಟು ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಏನೇ ಒಂದು ಪಕ್ಷದಿಂದ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂಥ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಅಚ್ಚುಕಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಂಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಂಬರೀಷ್ ಗೌಡರು ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ವೇದಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಭಾಗ ಪ್ರಭಾರಿಗಳಾದಂಥ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಂಗೇಗೌಡರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಹಾಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೇಶವ ಪ್ರಸಾದ್ ಅವರು MLC ಅವರು ಸಹ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಿತ್ರರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ನಿರ್ಮಲಾ ಸೀತಾರಾಮ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಡಿಯಪ್ಪ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರು.
See, on the fact that the government led by Prime Minister Modi, the NDA government, BJP leading in it, has completed 12 full years. And these 12 full years have been full of records. Along with it, Honorable Prime Minister Modi has crossed the highest number of days which our first Prime Minister Pandit Nehru ji had 4,398 days was what Prime Minister Prime Minister Nehru had achieved. Last Wednesday, by crossing that date, Prime Minister Modi has made 4,398, and now you can keep adding that many number of days. So on Wednesday last week, he had achieved 4,399 days, and therefore he beat the record of Pandit Nehru and as elected Prime Minister. Because Nehru ji also before 1952 was leading the transition government, which was not after an election. The first election was in 1951, and the count starts from there as elected Prime Minister. So that is the landmark based on which all of us are going to different states to speak about what these 12 years have given India. Transformational change. So I'll just highlight a few things and leave it open for you all to ask questions. Transformational change is, first of all, 3 great revolutionary changes. The digital payment interface, the UPI, NPCI, We are today doing maximum number of transactions because of the way UPI stack has come up. It has brought in many more small people also on the platform of digital. So street vendors also have Phone Pay and Beam app and so on, which no other country was able to launch, and that was proven during COVID time when checks were sent by people, whereas we, the press of a button, we could put money into people's account because everything was digitized. That was revolutionary change. The second revolutionary change is the rapid infrastructure development in this country. Like just now, Dr. Sudhakar, accompanied by the state president, both of us and many more Karyakartas went and saw how that highway has really stretched and quality road has been built. So whether you're going to Tumkur or this way going to Hospet, the link is clear. And this is one example. It was completed in 24, although we are reviewing it today. All over the country, such road linkages and some of the port linkages have also been achieved. One of the industrial corridors, which is not the road linkage, is keeping a nodal point in Tumkur. That very important industrial corridor will have more than 7,000 crores being invested this year onwards in developing that corridor, that node for that industrial corridor. Other than this, the rapidity with which air connectivity has been made here, it's a remarkable achievement, and we electrified it. Karnataka has all 96% electrified railway network. New Vande Bharat Expresses are also being brought in. Educational institutions like AIIMS and also IITs are being set up all over the country. So these are revolutionary steps. Other than that, many more newer aircrafts, newer Udan airports, new major and minor seaports all over the country are all being built. But more importantly, these are being done without forgetting the poor and the middle class people. Their income tax concession, where it was only up to 2.5 lakhs in 2014, has reached 12.75 lakhs. Till 12.75 lakh, you don't need to pay any income tax. That kind of a rapid change, keeping the middle class in mind, was because of Prime Minister Modi's guidance. GST has simplified the processes. All India has become one in terms of taxes. Small merchants who were not part of the formal system have come on to the formal system. And what's the benefit of coming on to the formal system? They get tax credit. More people are available for buying their products. Raw materials can be purchased from cheaper sources. So it brings in a lot of advantage. These are largely what I want to, in summary, tell before you. More can be spoken, but the reason why this trip is being made is all over the country, ministers are going, talking with the local parties, and local parties in their district units are also doing. MPs are in the local parties, MLAs are in the local parties. They are also actively engaging in spreading this good word about what these 12 years have achieved for us. And lastly, together with this, we are also taking a sankalp that all of us, following that Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas, we are making sure that all of us will be making sure that we work towards getting 2047 Vikasit Bharat. So this visit is largely for taking the sankalp, for speaking about the 12 years, marking the 12 years, and marking also India's longest serving Prime Minister elected, whose guidance we will be working towards Vikasit Bharat. Thank you.
ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿ.
ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಈ ರೋಡಲ್ಲಿ
ಹೊಸಕೋಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಡೌನ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ರೋಡ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ದೇವನಹಳ್ಳಿ ಈ ರಾಣಿ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮಂಡ್ಯ ಕ್ರಾಸಿಂಗ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಅದರ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನಾನು ಗಡ್ಕರಿ ಸಾಹೇಬರಿಗೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಪತ್ರ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಹೋಗಿ ಭೇಟಿನೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸಂಬಂಧಂಥ ಚೀಫ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ಸ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬಹುಶಃ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನನ್ನು ಹುಡುಕ್ತೀವಿ ಇಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲೇ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಾದಷ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ವಿತ್ತ ಸಚಿವರಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಸಿರುವಂಥದ್ದಾದರೆ ಬೆಟರು. ನಾನು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂಥ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಯಾವಾಗಾದರೂ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಇವತ್ತು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಗೆ
ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು 12 ವರ್ಷ
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಸಿರುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ.
But anyway, I'll invite you all and wish you all good luck. This is the first activity in this Bengaluru rural office, which is in Devanahalli. You are the first visitors to be here, and therefore welcome to all of you.
ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಈಗ ಡಾಲರ್ ಇದು ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಮೌಲ್ಯ ಈಗ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿ ಬಂದರೆ ನಾವು ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಮೌಲ್ಯವನ್ನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬೆಂಕಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ದಿನೇ ದಿನೇ ಡಾಲರ್ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಮೌಲ್ಯ ಕುಸಿತಾ ಇದೆ. ₹100 ತಲುಪುವಂತ ಭಯನೂ ಇದೆ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ.
We have to see two things in this. One, whenever there is a severe fluctuation or volatility, the Reserve Bank, volatility in rupee versus dollar, the Reserve Bank intervenes in the market not to fix a price. Rupee should be at 90 against the dollar. No, that's not the approach. Only to stop any kind of fluctuation, the Reserve Bank comes into picture, stabilizes it and comes out, for which it uses foreign exchange from the reserve. So it does it sparingly. It doesn't come every day to do it. And rupee will have to, the rupee and its fluctuations are because of the various factors, uncertainties outside, US Fed talking about increasing or decreasing interest rate in their country, the value of dollar against very many, like for instance, as we are talking about the Indian rupee, the Japanese yen crashed against the dollar. Korean won crashed. So there are several reasons which determine the exchange rate between countries and currencies. From our side, one of the reasons is also being quoted as the investments which came into this country, FII, FDI, all of them are going out because they are able to book profits and also because of the strategic situation developing in the US. So when they go out, our reserves come down a bit. All these cause the fluctuation in the rupee. We'll have to see how it goes because the uncertainty in the Middle East and because 3 important commodities we don't produce adequately. Whether it's crude oil, we get the crude and refine it. We don't ourselves have enough crude supply in this country. And for which the payment will have to be made in dollars. So we need to have enough dollars to pay because otherwise we will not have crude oil coming. That includes gas also. The second is fertilizers. India has limited supply of fertilizers which we manufacture, but largely what we use as fertilizer is imported. And for this, the fertilizer costs have been going up. You all know, since the time of COVID, we are giving that bag at 300 rupees, roughly 296, 298. But after COVID, when we import it from foreign countries, the same quantity, which is one bag, touched 3,000 rupees, which means per farmer, per bag, we are giving anywhere between 2,700 rupees as subsidy. Now recently there was a feeling that it might go further up. It might touch even 3,000 something. So there again foreign exchange has to be used to pay. The third item which we import, which again we don't have much, except in Karnataka you have the Hatti mines, the gold. Even for that the payment will have to be done in dollars, and the cost of 10 gram of gold, not the equivalent but outside it is measured in ounces, has been rocketing. It's been shooting like a rocket, and again affordability is a question. But for that also the payment is in foreign exchange. That's why PM requested that because for fertilizer, crude, we have to pay in foreign exchange, can we postpone some of the decisions or do carpooling, minimize your use of petrol or diesel and so on. So the fluctuation in the rupee to dollar is determined by so many different factors.
Government consistently their allegation injustice of financial injustice to state.
Whose allegation?
Karnataka government always says.
ಅನುದಾನದ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ ಇದೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಗಳಿಂದ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅನುದಾನ ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. GST ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ 2ನೇ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು. ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಲು ನಮಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಅಲಿಗೇಷನ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ
The point is, you may have a perception that if I'm paying this much tax, I should get this back. I think once before the media in Bengaluru, I said this. If a state contributes this much to the national kitty and it thinks that I need to get more, every region also can do the same. Gulbarga, Yadgir, Bidar can all say, it's all right, Bangalore alone gets, we don't get. So if everything has been in the same principle, if Bangalore retains everything that it gets or it contributes, where will Karnataka Sarkar spend in Yadgiri? It won't have any money because the same principle that I am contributing, so everything should be here. Bangalore alone will contribute, Bangalore alone will be spending the money. Yadgir or Gulbarga or Bidar will not get anything by the same principle. So, if Bengaluru, Karnataka contributes and I need to get all the money back, the principle doesn't work like that. Who sets the principle? Not Modi ji, not Government of India. There is a finance commission which goes around to all states and decides on the basis of some metrics. That once decided, for the next 5 years, come what may, the central government will have to pay the state. And that is what I have been doing from 2019, and that's what our government has been doing from 2014. Karnataka has very many senior Congress leaders. They all know all this, but they want to make the noise. Now, actually you should see and question. Why on Finance Commission there's no doubts? Everybody's chup in Karnataka. Because a large amount has come to the urban local bodies, to the state, to the rural local bodies and so on. It's acceptable now, it wasn't acceptable earlier.
ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ
Definitely. What is the affordable housing scheme? What is the toilet building scheme? Samanya janarige, that amount comes, you build your toilet. Piped water comes to you without you putting any charge for it. Samanya janage, it is reaching. Similarly, you are doing some chota business for which you don't need to give any collateral. Land patta, gold, nothing. You get loan from the bank, and some of the loans are given at concessional rate. What is Kisan credit card? Come what may, the Reserve Bank may raise in interest rate, but no raise on the Kisan. He gets his farm loan. I just gave this example of the fertilizer. One bag is sold at 300 rupees to the farmer from 2020. whereas I'm importing it at 3,000 rupees. Samanya Janani. So I can give you more such example, but common people's interest is kept in mind when we do all this.
ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯ ಗಟ್ಟಿಗೊಳಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ದೇಶದ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಕಡೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನವರು ಸೌತ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ತಮಿಳುನಾಡಲ್ಲಿ ಅಣ್ಣಾಮಲೆಯನ್ನ ಕಂಡುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು ಬಿಜೆಪಿಗೆ ಹಿನ್ನಡೆಯ ವರನ ಶಾಪನ.
See, I don't want to comment on an individual, but BJP is a very cadre-based party. I like to remind you, Balraj Madhok, he was a stalwart during 1947 and all that, during the Jammu Kashmir, when the riffraff army from Pakistan came to occupy Srinagar. He had worked very intensely. Founder of Jansangh, party leader he was. He left the party after a point because he had some difference of opinion. Kalyan Singh ji, great backward class leader. Later on, of course, he came back. He left the BJP. Similarly, Uma Bharti ji, why, with due respect, I'm sitting next to Yediyurappa ji's son, Yediyurappa ji, who BJP values as a great leader in the ground. At a time when they couldn't sort of cope, they went out. But the party continues. And of course, we were very happy and honored when Yediyurappa ji came back, and that's how this party is. It doesn't hold anything in its mind. But we respect leaders, they come, we respect them when they come back also. So, but Charaiveti is what is BJP. We'll keep continue going on with the party.
ದೇಶದ ಆರ್ಥಿಕತೆ ಸಂಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳು ಸದಾ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಸ್ ಎ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಾದ ಇದೆ?
Data you get every month, GST collection. You also get data once in a year of the GDP growth. You get twice in a year World Bank and IMF saying how much is India's growth. And at that time they say about other countries' growth. Repeatedly last 5-6 years, India is the fastest growing economy. And this year when the GDP numbers came, every sector, manufacturing, agriculture, service, logistics, transport, every sector has shown substantial growth. Now, when the leader of the opposition belonging to the Congress party constantly, as you said, he goes on saying, constantly says, oh, you are going to have economic disaster, doom, that. But the numbers are showing different thing. Very clearly, the data shows that this economy is doing well. He doesn't realize that by constantly negatively talking about the Indian economy, which is actually doing well, you are undermining our people's efforts. After all, it is the people of India who are working hard, doing their business, paying their taxes, and as a result, GDP is growing. If you constantly go on saying negative when it is untrue, you are undermining the people's efforts, and in order to show your hate for Prime Minister Modi, you are undermining your own people. It is irresponsible of the opposition.
ಭಾರತೀಯ ನೌಕೆಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಿನ ದಾಳಿ ನಡೀತಾನೆ. ಪ್ರಧಾನಿ ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳ 12 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ವಿದೇಶಿ ರಾಜತಾಂತ್ರಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಸಾಧನೆ ಏನು?
Why? When war came in Ukraine, who brought the students back? Earlier, when Iran was under sanction, there was a problem. Who brought the students back? Many of them are doing medical education in Ukraine and so on. At the same time, he was talking to the Ukrainian president and to the Russian president to say, please, let there be a ceasefire period when I take my students out, take them to Romania, and from there fly them back. These are the achievement of Prime Minister Modi through his diplomatic contacts with leaders of the world. And that is why we are even today able to get gas, crude. In between there was a disruption. But now it's all happening smoothly. That's thanks to his diplomatic connections.
ಒಬ್ಬರು ಕೇಳಿ.
ಬಹಳ ಸಾಧನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಆದರೆ ಉದ್ಯೋಗದ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಆರೋಪಗಳು ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಕೇಳಿರುವಂತೆ ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸಿಜೆಪಿ ಅಥವಾ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಅಥವಾ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಆರಂಭ. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ?
See, in democracy, people coming together to protest in this name or that name, it's fine. That's why we didn't have any hesitation for giving them the permission to come and do the protest. We didn't touch and say, no, you can't protest. That's their democratic right. Let them do it. I've not finished. I've not finished answering you, please. So, we don't mind people protesting. But if you see the periodic labor force survey which happens and data is put out, unemployment is actually coming down. I stood up in Parliament to give the data on it. In spite of that, there are several programs through which we bring people on to get trained, to get exposed to companies. Like under my ministry, Corporate Affairs, we run the PM internship scheme where companies come forward and give them offer. We pay 4,500, companies give 500 rupees. We give them 5,000 and a 6,000 one-time lump sum amount for them to get ready and come. After that, many of them are getting recruited by that very same company where they became intern. So there are several schemes. National Rural Employment Mission, NRLM, gives a lot of exposure and job. In fact, I went to Nagaland to check up on the progress of NRLM. So many women have come forward, taken jobs. Now they are setting up their own shops, their own network through which digitally they are selling the products. Government is taking a lot of effort, but the churn because of AI, which is happening in the industry, because they are now using AI to get perfect results, which earlier was done by people. Now many of these people are being pushed for upskilling their skills. Government does free upskilling, and many of these people can get trained here. We are giving AI-based training, and after that they can go back to the job market. So this churn is happening simultaneously as much as governments attempt to get them jobs.
ನಡೆಸುವಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ವಿಫಲ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು.
Sorry?
ನೀಟ್ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ನಡೆಸಲು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ವಿಫಲ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏನ್ ಕಾರಣ ಇರ್ತದೆ?
Pradhan Mantriji's office is sitting and working to get this sorted out. That is why when the re-examination is going to happen, and that is why when applications are coming for re-evaluation, it's all happening. I remember making banks, nationalized banks, run portals so that students don't suffer when they come to pay their re-evaluation fee, and that goes to the education ministry, which in turn does the re-evaluation. Many of us have come together to work so that students don't suffer. The PM's office is directly monitoring this. So, not that PM is not speaking, he's getting work done.
ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರಗಳು ಘೋಷಣೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಯೋಜನೆ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್
So many governments are giving it. I sort of draw a calibrated line. Hard and fast line, calibrated line. If your budget has such resources to give, state it in the budget, discuss it in the assembly, and please give. But don't give if you don't have the money and then blame the center saying center is not giving me money. You didn't give the promise based on center. You gave the promise knowing your economy's strength, your fiscal position. So there are some states which have given this, but who can manage it? But there are some states who have given too much and are not able to carry forward.
ಟ್ರಂಪ್ ಕಂಡ್ರೆ ಮೋದಿ ಭಯನೇ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಈಗ 3 ಜನ ನೇವಿಲ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು ಸತ್ತೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನು 3-4 ಸಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಡಗಿನ ದಾಳಿ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? ರಾಯಭಾರಿ ಕರೆಸಿದ್ರು, ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ನ ಏನೋ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಅಷ್ಟು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಅಮೆರಿಕನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಭಾರತ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ?
On which particular thing? Gettiyagi America. On which particular?
ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಸಾಯ್ಬೇಕು ಮೇಡಮ್? ಇದಾಗಲೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿರಲ್ಲ 3 ಜನ.
Okay. No. See, that area, first of all, the American official has been called and given a stern, the diplomatic language, whatever has to be said. But that area is now, there are several cross-firing happening. America, Israel, Iran, other Arab countries. Who's firing at who? All this is happening. Without talking to the American diplomats, it's not as if we are sitting and watching. We are talking to them. We are saying, you've done wrong. Our people are getting offended. Similarly, when the war started, Iran was attacking all the Arabian countries. We called both the countries and said, Indian national security and safety is in your hands. Iran, you make sure that you don't hit at our people. These are being said, and Gettiya, beyond this, you can't go into place.
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದೇ ಟೈಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ.
No, wait a minute. When everything was smooth and running all right, we gave 9 cylinders to the Ujjwala with subsidy. When difficulty is now there in terms of supply, and we need to make sure supply is available for everybody. At that time, he's not said, I won't give subsidy. He says, instead of 9, will you please use 4? Because the supply side is getting tight. So that's not as if we don't want to give to poor. It is because of the situation on the ground. So they will still be getting. And just for our information, I'm saying, there are studies which have been done earlier which said very clearly, on an average, a small family doesn't use more than 4 or 5 cylinders in a year. I'm not saying because of that we've reduced. Because of that, even when that study was there, we still gave them 9 cylinders with subsidy. Now we are saying, no, hold on, we can only give them 4. For that, we'll give you subsidy because of the situation. Okay?
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಣ್ಣ ಟೈಮ್ 5 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ.
Thank you for raising it. At least 2 budgets. In fact, when I was last week in Vijayanagara, and highway road passes there, they grow a lot of flowers and lot of fruits, dragon fruit, jamun, guava, papaya and jackfruit. They were all pomegranates. They were saying, we want some warehouses so that the farmer can come and leave it there because it's close to the highway. Trucks can come, take it and go where they have to sell. In fact, in front of the district collector, I said, at least in 2 budgets, I've said, anywhere in the country, if FPOs, the farmer producer organizations, come forward and you want to build some cold storage, some warehouse, government will give viability gap funding, banks will be brought in, you will get the money at fairly concessional rate, you build it, you run it, and with the money you generate, keep servicing the loan. I'm sorry to say, from Karnataka, there are no proposals. 2 budgets. I told the district collector, please, you send it directly. We'll allow the FPOs to build it here. There are some states which have built rapidly. Andhra, entire Rayalaseema, Chittoor, Kurnool, Anantapur, those belts they are building. Nothing. It's a central budget money. You use it, they use it, anybody use it. Money is available. State government has to push forward.
Thank you.
ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಸಂವಾದ ಬಂದಿರುವಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಿತ್ರರಿಗೂ ಅನಂತ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಂಥ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಸಚಿವರಾದಂಥ ನಿರ್ಮಲಾ ಸೀತಾರಾಮನ್ ಜಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಕೋರ್ತಾ, ಹಾಗೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ರಾಜ್ಯಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ಹಾಗೂ ವಿಜೇಂದ್ರಣ್ಣವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಹಾಗೆ ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಸದಸ್ಯರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಹಾಗೆ ಜಿಲ್ಲಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಹಾಗೆ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿಗಳಾದಂಥ ತಮ್ಮೇಶಣ್ಣವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಜಿ ಶಾಸಕರಾದಂಥ ಚಂದ್ರಣ್ಣವರು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಸಮಯಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮೀಟಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ.
ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
I have asked my office through the state president and district president to distribute material to you all on all the data which you may have asked me, which you didn't ask me. It is there, they are distributing it.
ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ circulate ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ನಮ್ಮ